Today, we are going to be blowing things up. Like this. And this. And this. And also this. But what is the point of all this destruction? Let me explain. This is going to be an inland dock, which is a real thing, I haven't just made that up, and it is meant to ease congestion along a busy river, port or dock. And the first question is, why am I using TNT instead of a beacon? Well, because I have more stone and dirt than I know what to do with, and I just wanted to do something different to see if it's any easier. Also, this way, I get to blow stuff up, so it's going to be fun. I've marked out where the docks are going, and I need to clear these out down to sea level, and then slightly below. Not sure how far, but at least 5 or 6 blocks below sea level. Also, the land at the side of the western dock, just here, is a bit high, so I'm going to have to clear that down as well. So, we've definitely got a lot to do, but before we get on with it, I just want to head over to the Guardian Farm, as I've been very busy over there between episodes. Okay, so I'm over at my Guardian Farm at the AFK point, and if we just have a look at the amount of Guardians that are coming down now, it is absolutely ridiculous. We're getting tons of them coming in, tons of items dropping, and there is a very good reason for that. If we just come to the side over here, I've added in a little bit of a staircase. Now, I am going to do a bit more with this, decorate it all nicely, and if we just come past down where the water streams are that take the items up there, we have this huge area down here all dug out. And what I've been doing is I've been grabbing stacks and stacks of sea lanterns, taking them down here and lighting up all of the caves. And I'll be honest, I got lost quite a lot. I kept getting lost in all these caves, so that is the reason I've been digging this out. Just so I had an easy way of getting back up. And it is planning ahead a little bit. I do have at the back of my mind that I would like to turn this into a perimeter at some point. But you know, that's a lot of work and it's not really necessary at the moment. Because as we saw with the Guardians a moment ago, they're flowing in. There's absolutely no need to make this much more efficient. On saying that though, one of the big plus points of doing all this digging is I've ended up with an absolute ton of deep slate. Look at all this. I think I've got about 5 double chests here. I also ended up with a full stack of deep slate diamond ore. So not too bad. And a couple more diamonds there as well. So very nice. But anyway, that's enough of that. I promised explosions. Let's go do it. Okay, so back over in the city. And this is what I'm going to be working with. This shulker box here. Very good supply of TNT. Very happy with this. Now, I'm not planning on doing any TNT duping like we did at the witch farm. This is all going to be proper TNT placed down one at a time and blown up in a big pile. So I've crafted up quite a lot of it here. But if I do run out and this isn't enough, which I'm hoping that won't be the case. But if we do need some more, I have a full shulker box of gunpowder and another one of sand. And unfortunately, this is the last box of sand that I've got, so I will need to get some more of this if necessary. But the gunpowder, yeah, you know, from the witch huts, I've got an absolute ton of this, so that's not a problem. Let's just grab this and go give it a go. Starting with the western dock, as this is the deepest, so in theory is the most difficult. So I thought it was best to get this one out of the way. I'm just using the technique of digging a trench or a tunnel, piling in a load of TNT, lighting it, and running away. On the first batch of TNT, I nearly had a disaster. I forgot to pick up my shulker box filled with TNT, so I quickly broke it, but the blast pushed me out of the way before I could pick it up. I was so convinced that it was going to get destroyed, but luckily it was okay and I got it back. The first attempt left quite a big trench down the middle of the first dock, so I decided to stay with the same technique and repeat this over and over again. I didn't always get the spacing quite right, so I had to do a few separate sections, but the TNT did its job and I cleared any smaller amounts with a pick or shovel. Then it was time to move on to the second dock, or more specifically, the access between the first and second. I dug out all of the grass and dirt, and then laid down a huge pile of TNT and let that do its thing. For the middle dock, there was a lot of dirt to clear, so I took a more manual approach and dug this out to save on some TNT, as it was becoming clear at this point the 20 stacks I had was not going to be enough. Once I was through the dirt though, I used a huge pile of TNT to get through the stone. After getting that done, I used another huge amount to do the final bit between the first and second docks. I should explain here that I did realise that the wool marker blocks would be destroyed, so you may have noticed I have placed obsidian blocks in the corners of each dock and pathway, so I know where I need to build the walls, even if all the marker blocks are destroyed. Then on to the third and final dock. Again, I started this one by digging out a bit of the dirt and sand, but then I decided to just place a line of TNT down the centre, just on the surface, and see what happened. Did this another 2 times to try and get the sensor down to the required level, then just stacked a huge pile together to take the brute force approach. And then I was finally out of TNT. 20 stacks completely gone, so I used some of the sand and gunpowder to craft up a little bit more. And then a bit more digging, few more explosions, and I was getting there. But then near the coast of the third dock, there was an underwater cave, so I grabbed some sponges and cleared all that out, and then I used up the last of my TNT to clear as much land as possible. Then I stole my beacon and placed it next to the third dock, and got to work speed mining that out, so it was all fairly level. After that was finished, I moved the beacon so it reached the first and second docks, and did the same there, and just did a bit of manual digging, so it was all ready for me to do some building. Okay, so I spent a long time on that, about 3 hours, but you know what, I think the TNT definitely cut that time down, because digging these 3 areas out with just a beacon, I can imagine that would have taken quite a while. So I think we've done pretty well considering, and it was definitely the right way to go, but it had to be finished off with a pick, definitely. And this middle one, yeah, it's still a bit rough, still got a few bits to do here, and most of the wool markers have definitely gone, so it was a very good idea putting the obsidian in. So, what we're doing now. So firstly, we need to have a flooring, don't we? And I'm hoping I've done this down far enough, because the sea level is there, and I believe I've come down 5 blocks, which should be good enough. What I want to do is actually build up all of the walls up to sea level, and then replace all of the floor as well. And we are going to go with granite, brick, and terracotta, like we did for the floor over in the alleyway, which you can't see from here. But I think that is going to be a really good mix for this, and then once we've got the water in, that is going to look really good. So as far as the walls, I'm just going to do them up to sea level for now. And then above there, once we get the water in, we can decide what we want to do. So some of them, like this, are definitely not going to stay. They're not going to, like, if the sea level is there, we're not going to have this wall just like that. So we'll probably just chop them back a bit, so we have like a platform above where the sea level is, and then that'll be like the dock area. And then some of them, they may go up quite high, but not at the moment. All of them are just left like really tall like this, so we definitely don't want that. But what I need to do now is get myself some materials. Okay, so the first thing we need to get is some bricks, and I don't have a lot of them, but what I do have is an empty shulker box and an absolute ton of emeralds. And I also have 10 villagers, and I believe most of these are selling bricks, which is great. So I'm going to go through here, get a ton of bricks, and we'll craft those up, and then everything else I should have back at the base. So I'll buy as much as I can from this lot, and then we'll get back into the city. Okay, so I got through that 9 stacks of emeralds, and I managed to get this many bricks. So this should go quite a long way. I am going to mainly use granite for the floor, because I know we're not going to see a lot of it once we get all the texturing done with the coarse dirt and stuff. So I don't want to waste all the bricks, as they're quite expensive, and this is a bit of a pain. I know I've got a ton of emeralds, but I've slept twice to get this many, so yeah, they're a bit stubborn, this lot. But anyway, while we're over here at the witch hut, I just wanted to explain, this is a project I want to come back to very, very soon, because obviously we've done a perimeter, it was a lot of work, but at the moment, all this is pretty much useless, because when 1.18 added the caves down below, they decided to put an absolutely massive one down here, and there are a ton of mobs down there. So when I'm stood in my AFK point, just in there, that red glass block, absolutely nothing is spawning, and that is because there is so many things down there. It's absolutely ridiculous. I could just go down there and light it all up like we did at the Guardian farm, but you know, I've done a perimeter, so what's the point in doing a perimeter and then just lighting the other caves up? I want to extend this right down to negative 64. So thinking about it, that is the exact same amount of work that we did for this, because this was what, 64 down to about 0. So I need to build all those flying machines and hopefully not break anything that's up here. So yeah, this is on the list to be done very, very soon. But for now, we're building some docks, so let's get back to it. Alright, so back in the city, got my bricks with me, and I've also grabbed a few boxes of granite and one of terracotta. So this is the standard mix I like to use for this texture, and we're going to get a bit of building done now. So I do think I may need to dig this down a bit further. I'm not really happy that that's all we've got. So we've got sea level, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, I suppose, if it goes to this level. So yeah, I think I'm going to go down at least another 2, just so we have a bit of depth. So if we do build any like big ships, they're going to need to have some room underneath out there. So I think what we'll do first though, we'll build up this wall at this side, just to tidy it up a little bit, and then we can have a bit of a reference to see if we actually need to go down a bit further. Okay, so that is the first rough version done, and obviously the texturing does need a lot of work, but I'm really just trying to see here if I need to dig this floor down a little bit. The water is going to be at this height here, and then we're probably going to go, actually, let's go up there, and I'll show you what I'm thinking. So up here, we'll probably have another 2 blocks coming out of the water, and then we're going to have a platform. I don't know what it's going to be made out of. We'll probably do wood, like spruce, straight spruce logs going back and forth this way. I think that's pretty good. And then it's going to come this far above the water, And then this will all be dug back, and we'll probably have a wall somewhere around here going up, and then have like the warehouse and factory buildings above there. So let's just have a look and see what this looks like. And yeah, it just doesn't look like you could fit much of a ship below that water level there, does it? So I think I'm definitely going to have to go down with this one. Don't know how far, maybe another 2 or 3 blocks, so probably about that height. We'll dig all that out. And then round here, as I've built up this little bit, just for this little walkway down here, there's still a lot that I need to get rid of. So this obsidian, it'll go on a diagonal that way, so all of this needs to go. And then at the other side here, this is all very messy as well, so this is going to go diagonally to that obsidian over there. So all that needs to go, and then all this needs to be built up. So got a lot to do, both getting rid of stuff and filling it back in, and then also decorating with this kind of style. So I didn't use the terracotta, but I will do that. I was really just trying to figure out where we needed to go. So I think I know what I'm doing now, but there's a lot to do. So I better jump into a time lapse and get some building done. Okay, so I'm not going to lie, that took a crazy amount of time. And we also have some visitors, the locals have come to check out the new docks. What do you think? Anyway, as you can see, this is all done. I started with this first section, and we've got a good mix in here. There are some strips that are mainly granite, but I did a lot of the texturing, so I've got tons of brick and a little bit of terracotta in here, and I do like this mix. I think it looks pretty good. And then for the other 2 sections through here, this more square diagonal one, and then this really long one at the back, it's all granite. And the reason I did that is I just wanted to get it done a little bit quicker, just to try and get everything finished. But also because I do prefer actually doing this kind of texturing once everything is in and I know what the shape's going to be. So when you're trying to build it as you go and you don't actually understand the end result, sometimes the texturing can be a bit difficult. So I like to get it to this stage and then just go through and swap and change. I know, yeah, it does take a little bit longer, but for me, I just prefer doing it like this first. The only problem with building all this out of granite though is that this shulker box here and then this little bit in here, that's all I've got left. That's all of the granite I've got, which is crazy because I had an absolute ton of it, but I obviously placed an absolute ton, so yeah, it's all gone. But we are going to be getting a lot of it back because we're going to swap a lot of this out, maybe about half of it for brick, so I'm not too worried. And because I did all that digging, my stone supplies have gone absolutely crazy. This is really unnecessary. I have almost a full double chest full of shulker boxes that are all full of stone. That is absolute madness. Doing all that digging as well, my picks have taken a bit of a battering, and I have been across to my gold farm a couple of times. And while I was out and about, I did take some emeralds across to the villages and grab some bricks. And as you can see in here, we're doing alright for bricks now. Even though I did use quite a lot of these in that first section of the dock, I've stocked back up, and I'm going to go get some more now as well, because I'm going to repair those 2 picks. But I've also grabbed 4 shulker boxes of stone. So I'll trade this with the villagers. Actually, let's grab a few more, because they do eat up quite a lot of it. Let's get 8 shulker boxes. We'll get rid of those, and I've got an empty one to get some more bricks as well. So we'll go do that now, and then we can get on with some more stuff. Right, so I've got all my picks repaired now, and after a short trading session, I got this many bricks. And I sold about 5 shulker boxes of stone, and then after buying these bricks, I had this many emeralds left over. So that's not too bad. I can live with that. And I think with the bricks that we already had, we should be in a good position for the bricks now. So let's grab these and go get on with it. Alright, so we're back down in the dock, and this thing is absolutely enormous, but it's not going to look like this for too much longer, because once we get all this roughing up done, this is going to be filled with water, and I'm not going to see it like this anymore, so let's enjoy it while we can. Right, so what I'm thinking is smoothing this out a little bit. So what I've got is, I've got some, I haven't got many, but what I was thinking of having slabs go all the way along, leaving bits in like this, so it's broken up a little bit. So when we look down, it's just going to be looking a little bit rough, like it's been well used. So let's grab a few more slabs, and I got some bricks as well, so we'll put those in. I'm just going to have these going along like this. But what I also thought of doing as well is just every now and then, just digging back, not like that. I can place blocks, I know how to play this game, right? Just going back a little bit like that. No real pattern to it. I just wanted to have it so it looks fairly uneven. So I haven't got these like crazy straight lines everywhere. I know as it's like a man-made dock, it should really be like all nice and neat. But this is Minecraft. It's better if you have things just roughed up a bit. It always just looks better. Is this looking right? Do we want this to be smoothed out like this? Because what we've got to think of as well is that when we have the water in here, I want to be able to bone meal this and have loads of like kelp and seagrass and stuff growing up. The more slabs and stuff I have down at the bottom, the less places I have to do stuff like that. Now, I don't want to completely saturate the bottom with seagrass, so there's not a problem if having a few slabs here and there. I think that'll be alright. Yeah, I think we're definitely going to go with this. But what I actually want to test is if I can grow seagrass on bricks. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure you can do it on granite. I have no idea whether you can do it on terracotta, but I'm pretty sure you can't do it on brick. So let's go give that a go. Right, so I've got a few of these here, so let's put a few of them down. So granite, I'm pretty sure that's alright. Yeah, that likes that. Bricks, I don't think you can do this, but I might be wrong. Yes, you can. I like that. And terracotta, does that work as well? It does, right, that's great. So we can place it on everything that we've got down there. The only thing we won't be able to do it on is the slabs. And actually, yeah, seeing that from up there, that looks pretty good. So I'm going to try and make a little bit of progress on this. I will come back and then try getting the water in. Okay, so that is now all done. We have all the floors done in each section and all of the walls going all the way around. We've now got the texturing all in. And I added a little bit of dirt in down here and also put a few slab sections so it's sunk down a little bit. And I think this is looking really cool. What I keep having to remind myself is this is all going to be underwater. We're not going to see most of this, but I'll still try to make it look as good as I can. And I've also just realised something that I've done wrong as well. So these red wool blocks here, and this one, there's going to be a bridge here. And this is going to be the main road coming into the city. And as you can see here, it's really close here. And that's because I didn't follow my markers properly. What I was supposed to do was from this corner, go diagonally that way. And it would meet up about where that ender chest is, somewhere like that. But I did it at a right angle like this. So I was thinking about leaving it, but as I was building it, I didn't really like this section. So I think I definitely should have followed my plan and done it properly. So I will rebuild this at some point, but I don't want to do that right now. What I want to do now is actually get the water in this section. I think I'm going to block that off, maybe build like a dirt wall over there so we can get it all in. And I also want to build like the entrance to this dock here, because obviously this, no, this isn't good. Okay, one last push. Let's get some work done. Okay, so I think it's safe to say I got a little bit carried away there. I've got everything done. So, first up, I did this little wall around the dock down here, and I think adding this in makes such a difference. rather than just having that one wide wall that I had before. Having this in makes it look way more solid and like it can actually hold back a ton of water now. And then after that, I moved on to this bit over here that I said I needed to redo. So we've got this wall going diagonally along here now. So once this is all built up here with the stone, this road will actually be wide enough and it'll make a lot more sense. So we're going to build a bridge across here as well, but that won't be today. And then finally, we did this thing down here. So it's exactly the same as the one we've got over there. We've just got the wall holding back the water. So once we get all the water inside, we can break those walls and then everything should be good. So now, it's on to placing the water. Now, do I have any buckets with me? I've got one. Alright, let's go with that. Okay, so placing the water. Trick to doing this is you need to start from the bottom up. You could place a layer of blocks one below where you want to do it and then fill that in with water and break them and the water will flow down and then you can put the kelp in at the bottom, but I found when you've got all these slabs and stuff, it's way easier to just do it from the bottom. And also as well with the slabs, it's easier to start with the slabs, waterlog them, and then once you fill everything else in, they'll all flow together. But as you can see, it won't flow into the slabs. So yeah, putting the slabs down, even though it looks good, it's a bit of a pain. So we're going to need to get a few buckets and then we can get this started. So there's not a lot I can say about this really. It's pretty straightforward once we get going. You just need to remember to waterlog the slabs. And then once we get an instant water source going, this should be fairly easy. But yeah, there's a lot. So let's get this dock finished. I've got everything done. It's all built, and for some reason we have llamas floating in the water, but ignore that for now. Got the water filled in all the way along, and then we've also got this one dug out at this side, and just for something a little bit extra, I also got this thing built up as well. So I put this in as a diagonal, built the stone up a little bit, just so we can see where this road's going to go, and I think this is definitely wide enough on both sides now, so I'm very happy about that. And as you'll also see as well, I've added in a lot of seagrass and kelp, and I've also just added in a conduit so we can see this better. So I probably should have done that whilst I was bone milling all this, but you know, I'll get there in the end. So I think this is looking really cool now. It looks very well used and not very well kept because it's, you know, people are going to come and clean this up all the time in a busy dock, are they? So I think this definitely works, definitely fits, and once this kelp grows up as well, we can get some more of this spread around. So very happy with how this is looking. But as you can imagine, this has taken a very long time, so I haven't had a chance to get the rest of the dock built. I wanted to do the stuff on the surface, and why can't I fly? Earlier on, I couldn't fly because my elytra broke, and I thought it's just because I was having trouble getting out of the water, but no, it broke, so I had to go get that repaired. But anyway, this level here, this is what I was originally thinking, but I think I'm going to have one more layer above this, and then we could have some kind of like wooden dock down here that we'll walk down onto. But you know, that's all stuff that I need to design, and for now I think I am going to have to leave it there. Been a lot of work this one, hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks for watching till the end, and I'm going to go do a little bit of designing because I want this dock to be complete very, very soon. So check back in the next episode and we'll get on with that, but for now I'm going to leave it there. So if you've enjoyed this episode, please do leave a like, and I'll see you again next time. Thanks for watching everyone. Bye bye.